You're literally Frodo right now.
He's the hero ever. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gollum's Gamers, where today we are back with yet another emergency podcast episode here on the channel. Now, unlike all the previous ones, though, it is just myself here today. It is, what time is it? It is 2 on a Thursday afternoon, and I've tried to rally the troops. I have reached out to people in the team, outside the team, trying to get someone else here for a emergency pod, and no one's available. So it's just myself. I work from home, so I can take half an hour to jump on a quick emergency pod, but no one else is around. So the very first podcast in my new house, new setting here, we've got boxes, everything's all, everywhere at the moment. But I'm here by myself. And as this article's gone up, I know people, when they see an article, they go, there's going to be an emergency podcast coming. And I can't bring myself to let those people down. So that's why I'm here. I've hopped on a pod. I've done this many times before on previous channels and things, doing some solo content. So here we are. There's a new article. So let's jump into it. Emergency podcast time. So this must be episode like 20, got over 20 at this point. We've had a lot of articles, but this is an interesting one. Obviously, we've had some unforeseen, I would say, articles and announcements and releases over the last month or so. Obviously, there's Imrahil. I don't think people expected Bolg either, really. And this is definitely another sort of curveball announcement here. So, Middle-earth strategy battle game. Give the enemies of Azog a taste of Boulder with the Gundabad catapult troll. Now, very interesting indeed. So for the Spotify listeners, obviously be sure to head over to Warhammer Community and check out the post, or I'm sure it's in all the Facebook groups, and as well you can find the links to our Spotify and our Instagram in the description down below. So for the YouTube viewers though, here we are. This is the Gundabad catapult troll. So is there anything down here that says anything about the Gundabad troll? We've got some more angles here. Stopping their advance means getting within range of its armored metal gauntlets, which hit at strength 10, just like the boulders it flings. So that's all. So there's no kind of description about it or anything new. Obviously, the profile's already been released. So I guess, first of all, talking about the model itself. So this first angle we've had here, I mean, I like it. It does say that it's going to be resin. I thought it said here, did it say further down? Spoiler alert, we're also going to be talking about the match play guide. But I do think it says here in resin. I thought it said Forge Roll resin somewhere. Anyway, people have confirmed on the Facebook groups. They asked Warhammer, I think on Facebook or Instagram or something, who said that this is Forge World resin. So not too surprising there. All the other Gundabad trolls are Forge World as well. So that's okay. I like that they're dedicating their resources to making plastic models to the really cool heroes like Imrahil and things like that. So that's fine. There's some comparisons immediately to the Gundabad troll with the scythe gauntlets, like these kind of metal sort of plates on the arms, the braces, the van braces, is that what you call them? I don't know, but I think those are like leather, and obviously these are metal, so whatever. Gauntlets, is that what they call them here? Whatever. They're very similar to the ones that the Gundabad troll has, and I really like that model. So you're seeing kind of elements of that. The skin and everything, I mean, is all this a paint job? No, that's got to be detail, right? Actually sculpted on. So I guess something like that should be pretty easy to paint, because washes and contrast paints and things will run into that. So because an issue I found, I started painting a Gundabad troll. It was quite early into my painting sort of journey, as it were, but I found the skin really, really difficult, as there wasn't really any texture on there. That was Forge World as well, but obviously that was when The Hobbit came out, which was obviously quite a long time ago now. So I'm not sure if all that on the skin is actual sculpted detail. If it is, I think that's really, really cool, because all the paints are going to run into that super easy, all the washes and everything. Also on the face here, I think the mouth looks really good. It could just be the paint job. It's got a huge forehead. I'll say that. It's this whole top part of the head is like, bulging out. But no, I like the sort of look of the troll. I like the pose where it's kind of leant down on both on both fists there at the front. I think that looks really cool, obviously with the metal gauntlets or whatever. So yeah, super, super cool. And then obviously on the top, we've got the Goblin Mercs. That's cool. I mean, God, if the price of Goblin Mercs at the moment is pretty crazy, and that's for what a warband of like 10 or 12 with a captain. So I think if there's one, is there one on the other side? I think that's one, two, three, four, five. So you've got half a warband and there's one on the other side. So there could be like 6 mercs on this, which is half the warband price. So that's like 50 quid there alone, I think, just for the mercs. So the price of this thing, I mean, could be pretty crazy. But yeah, I like the detail with the mercs up there. I think that's really cool. I would assume they're the same. I mean, I guess they're new sculpts, right? They're newer than the Goblin Mercs that we have already, but they're obviously done in the same style. So I think those are pretty cool. They're sort of just hanging out on the top there where he fires, the rocks or whatever. So, and obviously all this wood is really, really cool, the detailing. So, and all that should come up super nice with contrast paints, which I absolutely love. Get a little bit of wildwood on that, and they'll be looking pretty cool. Yeah, we've got closer up. Oh, there's even like rocks in there. That's pretty cool. So yeah, the model looks great. I mean, if I'm honest, I don't know anything at all about the Gundabad troll. Sorry, the what is it? The catapult troll, and what it sort of does. Never seen it in competitive play. Never seen one on the table anywhere at all. So, and I saw some people sort of saying it's still sort of not entirely great. But let me know. Is it good? Is it decent? Have you used it? Did you use it in the previous edition? Did it change into this edition? I think it changed somewhat. But what do we think on the Gundabad chart? Are we going to see people actually running this now? There's a cool model for it. People will still run it, obviously, just for the hell of it and for the fun of it, because it's a cool, nice new model. Will we see it doing very well? I don't know. Obviously, Azog's Legion has loads of toys and everything already. Is this better than like the Troll Brew? I don't think so. And like even not many people with the buffs to the Troll Brew were considering really taking that in much of a competitive aspect. So will we see this? I'm not sure. I think the wider conversations have here though is what this means for the game, for new releases. It's very interesting because on a previous Emosi pod, I think it was one that Ali was on for the Bolg release, we were talking about sort of whether the fact that they've gone back and redone Bolg, why that was. Was it just because of the base size and that they needed to have because now they've put the base measurement, the base sizes in the profiles. They had to go back and do Bolg because it wouldn't work with the Felwarg measurement, that is. So is it that they're going back and they're doing this because it doesn't have a model and they just want to try and fill out the catalogue? Or is this something, are we going to see some kind of supplement? Because now this is 2 models for the same army that we've had. I think these are ones that they've sort of had to do. Bolg for obviously the issue with the base, and then the catapult troll makes sense next because it doesn't have a model. If they then come out with an Azog, when there's obviously already an Azog, then we know that they're 100% just revamping this particular army, which is obviously super, super cool. Myself, Adam as well on the channel, have played, Gundabad. We've been big, big fans of the army lists for a number of years now. So super, super cool to see it get some attention if it is sort of a whole revamp to the particular army. Could be new stuff coming potentially if they're going to be heavily featured in some kind of supplement moving forward, because they tend to, what I found is release things in line for upcoming supplements. So all the Defense of the North models kind of came out in the run up to the book that they were then coming out in. Is this the case here? Obviously we've had Imrahil, so I don't see a world where there's, say, the Azog stuff, the new releases tied into a supplement that the Imrahil and sort of fiefdom's new releases tie into as well. I don't know. I think on the army, on the Imrahil emergency pod for the armies book as well, Vince and Adam were sort of saying that the Imrahil model is probably just the release to tie in with the armies of Middle Earth book. So that sort of makes sense. So maybe, some kind of supplement, something coming for the Azog's Legion. Maybe they tie into something else they have planned further down the line. Who knows? But obviously we've had Bolg and now this. So very, very cool. Gundabad troll, catapult troll. Did not expect to see this on the timeline today. I must say, but a welcome surprise. I'm going to have a drink of my water because I have been talking a lot so far. Okay, moving on then. Down to some more very interesting news, very spicy, lovely news, is the match play guide. I have to say, love the Aemir snippet there. I think that's pretty cool. And obviously it was the Balrog on the previous match play guide for the Spotify listeners, but no, we have Aemir with a very mean looking mug there going on. What scene is that from? I'm not too sure, but yeah, match play guide. Finally, some details on that. Obviously, to have the armies book spoken on, and then the match play guide straight afterwards. We didn't know maybe whether we were going to hear anything on this until after the release of the armies book, and we didn't know when that was going to be. So the fact that I think almost was it a week later or 2 weeks later, they've come out with this article after the armies book. So they're saying, hey, we know these are things that people are very, keen on hearing information on. They're key parts to the game, sort of running in maybe not the traditional way, but the way that everyone's been used to in the whole latter half of the previous edition, with all the armies being available to play and having the match play guide with all the scenarios available. Obviously, lots of that stuff has now been removed. Obviously, the scenarios from the match play guide and lots of the armies aren't in the game. So they obviously understand that those are big concerns for people. So they're coming out with the news really close together, which I'll give some props to GW. Everyone's very quick to jump on them, but they could have delayed this announcement so that people would get excited for more information in say a month's time or something. But they've come out back-to-back weeks. I think was it last week there was the Imrahil announcement? Could have been the week before, but they've come straight out and said, we understand that this is a concern. Who knows? They could have brought this forward somewhat after hearing people's concerns. But yes, match play guide, to cut to the chase. This 64-page rules supplement contains 24 balanced scenarios for match play, including 6 that are completely new, as well as rules and advice for running doubles, campaign, and team events. It's a one-stop resource for anyone who needs ideas or guidance for how to run an engaging Middle-earth strategy battle game event. We'll carry on here. Both the Gundabad Catapult Troll and the Match Play Guide will be available to pre-order in the coming months, alongside the recently revealed Imrahil and Armies of Middle-earth. So I guess touching on that in bit. So the Catapult Troll, Match Play Guide, Imrahil, and Armies of Middle-earth are coming out at the same time in the coming months. That would be a hell of a drop. It does say alongside. So it's in the coming months, and it's going to be released alongside Imrahil and the Armies of Middle-earth supplement. So to me, that sounds like it's all being released at the same time in the coming months. We're at the end of March. Is it a summer release? Are they going to have a couple other things maybe announced between now and then? Obviously, these are the 2 big books. I don't think there's going to be any other kind of book. Obviously, there's the Legacies document, which I think is going to be released alongside the Armies book, I believe. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's what they said. But in terms of new books that are coming out, it's just those 2. Obviously, we've got the Catapult Troll and Imrahil. Is there going to be anything else revealed between now and when all this is released? That is going to also be released at the same time as all this. TBD on that one. There will be an emergency pod if anything else is revealed. But I guess touching on the match play guide then. So 24 balanced scenarios for matched play. Now, that doesn't mean they're all singles scenarios. Doubles can also be, matched play. So 6 of those could be the doubles ones. So that brings the 24 down to 18, which is what we had in the previous match play guide. And then it says 6 that are completely new. So there were 24 in the previous book. So either 6 have been removed from the 18 singles ones and replaced with 6 new ones, or they've scrapped the double specific scenarios and there's the 18 singles ones we had before, plus another 6 new ones for singles as well to add to the 20, to the 18 we already had previously. Unless there's 3 new for singles and 3 new for doubles, could be that. If there were 3 new ones for singles, that would be a little disappointing. I was really hoping for 6 new ones for singles. It does say, though, as well as rules and advice for running doubles campaign and team events. I mean, one thing they could have done is maybe found some sort of new way, scheme, or something to sort of adapt so let's say all 24 scenarios are for singles. Maybe there's a section in the book on how to adapt those scenarios for doubles, for changing the VPs or splitting the armies for deployment or something. So maybe there's 24 single scenarios, and then there's advice on how to adapt those for doubles, so that you could use maybe all of them for doubles rather than having specific ones only for doubles that then can't be used in singles and vice versa. So that's a potential, I guess. But yeah, it does say six that are completely new, but whether there's old ones have been scrapped, or they're all for singles. Maybe there's only three for singles and three for doubles. Who knows? But there's six new scenarios, so that is very cool, and obviously they're for match play. So that's about it, really. I mean, I don't have my fellow comrades here to bounce off of and get their take. But that is my take on it. That is the Gollum's Gamers official take. Obviously, yeah, Gundabad Troll looks really, really cool. Forge World, I mean, to be expected. I don't think many people would have thought if there was a new troll coming out, it was going to be plastic. Who knows if they redo like the cave troll one day? Who knows? That could perhaps be in plastic. But yeah, I think if someone told me there was going to be a new Gundabad Troll, what do you think it's going to be made in? I would reckon it'd be made in resin. So, but super cool. Will we see these on the table? Are you going to be getting one? Are you going to pay the £180 price tag for the Gundabad Troll? Let me know in the comments. And what do we think about the match play guide news? I'm really, really excited. It's all coming out at the same time, I believe. Army's book, match play guide. So there's going to be a ton of new stuff added to the game. I think Adam was really sort of happy where things were at the moment, that we sort of maybe don't have a complete game and that we have enough to get us by for now. And then I guess maybe they're going in the summer, 6 months into the new edition, we'll do a big new drop with the new rules for the armies in the armies book, new scenarios and everything like that to sort of rebuild some energy in the new edition. So if that's the case, I don't think that's the worst world to be in. But let me know what you guys think. But that is going to close us out. So the very first emergency pod on my own. How did I do? I don't even know how long I've been going for, but have to be on the news ASAP. I know people love the news. So we're here to deliver always on the Gollum's Gamers. But that is going to do it. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching another emergency podcast from the Gollum's Gamers.